Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a quick update on the Los Angeles protest situation. At this hour, Donald Trump has ordered over 700 Marines to be sent in from the 29 Palms. They are arriving in Los Angeles, even though only about 300 of the current National Guard deployed to the area are in use. And further to that, the remaining National Guard are sitting in federal buildings doing nothing with no orders. Pile onto that chaos the fact that there is reportedly a food and water shortage that's being supplied to the troops. So again, Donald Trump has no plan to feed or give water and such to the National Guard soldiers and members that are there. So once again, another major failure by Trump as he even doubles down by sending in the military, a highly illegal action by a president of the United States to send the military in on domestic soil against his own citizens. Now Trump is going on trying to blame it on immigrants and illegal aliens, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of residents and citizens of the United States who are taking up the protest that are saying enough is enough about the ICE raids happening throughout the city. Now, right now, as I said, there is reportedly not a supply of food and water going to the National Guard that are already there. And now he's doubling down by sending in the National Guard, more National Guard, up to 2,000 more, plus 700 Marines. Again, a total overreach by the Trump administration. Couple into that Donald Trump earlier tweeted out that if you spit at the National Guard or others on the front lines there, any ICE agents, etc., you will be hit harder than you've ever been hit before. Basically coming out and just warning people that if you get aggressive with the ICE agents or the National Guard or anybody else on the front lines there, that you will be beaten like a dog. He is threatening violence against his own citizens in no uncertain terms. This again is not a way to downplay or to de-escalate the situation. Instead, he is trying to inflame the crowds even more while calling out the governor and the mayor of Los Angeles as totally incompetent, which is not the case because of the fact that the federal government is the one that stepped in, overreaching their own boundaries, and as such took control of the situation. Now, the LAPD and the Sheriff's Department are there, but under federal jurisdiction, the government of the United States has taken the lead on the actions that are happening in Los Angeles. And again, instead of de-escalating, Trump is coming out making threats of extreme violence against protesters. And that is not a way to calm people down and to restore any type of confidence. It instead is there to intimidate and threaten harm to the protesters. Of course, we need to see peace. We need to see non-violent protests. But at this point, it appears that the government of the United States is the one inciting the violence more so than the protesters themselves. Now, we know that at all protests, you're going to have what I call the professional or career protesters. These are idiots that will use any cause and any type of uprising, whether it was the Black Lives Movement, whether it was the George Floyd protests, whether or not it is the ICE raid protests. You have some idiots that are out there. They are professional agitators that go into situations like this looking for nothing but inciting the violence and getting the crowd going with a mob mentality. This is commonplace in any type of situation where you have mass gatherings protesting. And unfortunately, they are not there to support the actual message of the protest. They are not there to support the protesters. They are not there to lend their voice to a genuine cause, but instead they are there strictly to instigate the crowds and try to create chaos, inciting violence, inciting riots, and that's what certain professional protesters do, or career protesters. And it's not even about the protest, it's about them using the crowds and manipulating people to incite violence. Then they come out and they cry that they are the victims when they are arrested and charged and prosecuted. And we've seen this with the January 6th insurrection. Trump pardoned all of these people while he now is claiming the opposite role or the opposite stance, saying that he's going to send in the National Guard, even though 4 years ago he claimed he did not have the legal authority to do so when it came to the January 6th insurrection. He said that it was up to the governor to make that call. Now, of course, we know that Trump is only in it for his own benefit. He does not give a shit about the protesters. He does not care about any of the citizens of the United States or permanent residents or those there legally. He just wants to wipe them all out with one quick brush. And unfortunately, that is coming back to haunt him in the fact that there are protests happening across the United States. Now, when we look at Trump inciting things and trying to really undermine the authority of the government of California and the city of Los Angeles, here again is another tweet, and I'll read it word for word, that Donald Trump put out earlier today. Once a great American city, Los Angeles has been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Now, violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking our federal agents to try and stop our deportation operations. But these lawless riots only strengthen our resolve. I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, in coordination with all other relevant departments and agencies, to take all such action necessary to liberate Los Angeles from the migrant invasion and put an end to these migrant riots. Order will be restored and illegals will be expelled and Los Angeles will be set free. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And again, that was Donald Trump on X and his untruth social, I'll call it. Now, he is again trying to undermine the authority of the governor of the state of California, who Governor Newsom does have a plan. The LAPD has a plan for such invasions, or not invasions, I apologize, but for such protests and events that they have developed strategically since the riots of 1992. They are more than capable of dealing with it, but by keeping the National Guard in charge and the federal ICE agents, as well as the Donald Trump part of it, of course, that does not help to deal with the situation. It does not help to bring down the emotions and the tempers that are there. It does not do anything to address the de-escalation of the crowds. Instead, it's only inciting more violence and more problems, with Donald Trump coming out publicly stating that the protesters, if they spit on a National Guards member, will be beaten and hit harder than they've ever been hit before. That is not how you work with people to try and calm emotion. Instead, that is just taking it even further, pumping up the temperature and the emotions of the crowd. Not acceptable by the President of the United States or anybody else who considers them a credible leader. Once again, we will keep reporting on the situation in Los Angeles. We will be back at about 12:15 tonight. That'll be 12:15 Pacific Standard Time. And again, that's just after midnight. We will be back to report more on what's happening in Los Angeles and other top stories from Canada, the US, and around the world. I'm James Cousineau, coming to you from Vancouver, British Columbia at the ProPix TV studios. Take care and stay safe, everyone.